Yo, what up? Keeping with the tradition of E3 seemingly starting earlier and earlier each year, Geoff Keighley's Summer Game Fest kicked off this whole week of gaming announcements. So I have some thoughts and I want to talk about it. But given my regular turnaround time on a video, it would take me way too long to do my standard green screen format. I'll stick to this format for event coverages, and I might do it for reviews, or at the very least day one impressions, because like I said, my turnaround time on a regular video is too long. Anyways, Summer Game Fest. And for the first Summer Games Fest event on stage, it was pretty good. It definitely felt better than what we would get from a Game Awards. I got my notes, so let's go over this, shall we? As good as Borderlands 3's DLC was, it was disappointing that there was no Tiny Tina's Assault on Dungeon Keep type DLC. Like, that was definitely a huge missed opportunity. The community clearly loves that DLC and was asking for it to be in 3. In hindsight, I'm happy we didn't get it because this is definitely way better. Tiny Tina's Wonder World. All I wrote in my notes is extremely down for this game. Even just like looking at the voice cast. Like, I don't remember everyone, but like, what was it, like Andy Samberg and Wanda Sykes? Pretty good actors that I think could fit Borderlands style very well. Out of everything on this list, this is probably the only game I will get day one. After that, it was a Metal Slug Tactics game. I don't really care about SNK that much. They've always been like whatever to me. Like, yeah, the games are good, but I don't know, just something about them, they've never really struck a chord with me. The only one I have ever played and probably would ever play again was Metal Slug. So a Metal Slug Tactics game, I'm actually very interested in. As for the trailer itself, it was whatever. I feel like for this game, a demo is going to be the only thing that can really sell me on it, you know? After that, Keighley's best friend showed up, Kojima. Find someone who looks at you the same way Keighley looks at Kojima. I didn't really care that much about what Kojima was saying. Like, that entire time I was like, okay, hurry up. Get to the part where you're like, oh no, Geoff, I actually have something to show off. And then we got to it, and it was just Death Stranding again. I think this is the most bizarre trailer at the entirety of the Game Awards. Like, I feel like if this wasn't a Hideo Kojima game and a Geoff Keighley event, we would not have gotten this trailer. I think this might be the weirdest trailer for a game I've ever seen, but not because it is an inherently weird game, but just because nothing happens. If I'm remembering correctly, he walks into a room, he looks at some dudes, he sees a rat, he opens a box, dumps everything out of it, sits in the box for a cool MGS reference, and then puts it back on the shelf, and it ends? Was this even a cutscene from the game? I don't know, this was dumb. Especially like all that just to announce a director's cut, and it was immediately followed by, I don't even know how to explain that Jeff Goldblum stuff. That was dumb.
Thank you so much, Joffrey or Geoff or sorry, I think it's Jeffrey. Hey, maybe it's Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
Felt like a lot of time to talk about a very small announcement. Yeah, you really didn't need Jeff Goldblum there.
Yeah.
For his musical performance, whatever. I think it was attached to Sable. That game looks pretty as hell though. Holy shit, that is a good art style. MMO, I did not write down the name of. I'm probably not going to play this. If I'm ever in the mood to play an MMO again, I'll probably just hop back into Final Fantasy XIV. And just the fact that Amazon Gaming is attached to it makes me nervous to play it. Didn't they kill a game after like a couple months because it wasn't reaching their expectations? The most I can say about it is that top-down perspective for an MMO is pretty unique. After that, it was COD. And around this point, I was starting to regret turning off my PS5 for this. Like, I don't expect everything at an event to be tailored to me and everything to blow my mind, even if it's like for Nintendo, a company I enjoy a lot of their games of. But we started out with one announcement I am very down for, and then just like a bunch of whatever. I'm not a big COD guy. I'm also not a big Battle Royale guy. I wonder why Geoff thinks Season 4 is starting on June 17th, though. I don't know where he got that idea. Honestly, the thing I found most interesting about this announcement was the World Series of Warzone. COD is one of the OG MLG games, but much like Halo, I feel like excitement for professional COD has really died down in the last few years. I don't know if it's just like the landscape of YouTube changing and like COD YouTubers not really being a thing anymore, like outside of Warzone. But I think this might be really good for the esports community as a whole, just having another publisher supporting their scene. More Among Us stuff. I didn't play Among Us for that much. At most, I think it was just for like a few days with friends. I just prefer a game like that to be a board game like with Secret Hitler. But hide and seek, that's actually a super smart concept for Among Us. I'm surprised it took them this long to add that. But everything else I was like, just whatever.
Today, the mask is back.
Oh shit, a Keighley mask? Another game I didn't get the title down for. I don't think it had a splash screen. I think the guy just talked about it and then moved on to the next game. That color game does look very pretty though. Its art style reminds me of Flipnote. You guys remember Flipnote? I might be only making that comparison though because I saw a tweet with an old Flipnote and it just awakened that nostalgia inside of me. Nintendo, bring back Flipnote. Then after that they showed off, I guess like a 2D Souls-like game. I don't know, the guy talking about it compared it to a Souls-like. I'm not a big Souls-like guy. I never got into the series or any game like it. It's just not my vibe. So I took the time during that trailer to catch up on notes. So I don't really know what they showed off for that game. Solar Ash is a game I'm really down for. The movement from that first trailer in the game looks really fun, and this one confirmed that. That one shot of just like showing like the entire area as the dragon was flying around was really neat. I'm like excited to run and jump around that map. Fighting the dragon though, that looked fine. And then the trailer ends. We spent 5 minutes for Norman Reedus to step into a box and step out of a box just to announce Death Stranding Director's Cut. But this game got like a minute and a half. Not even. That felt really short. I don't even know why they bothered showing anything off. Felt like a reminder like, hey, we exist. Moving on to Chivalry. Yeah. I didn't really care that much for Chivalry 1. But I have heard these games are really good. So I imagine Chivalry 2 is going to entertain a lot of people. Brought to you by the Canadian government, by the way. I found that really funny. Was just not expecting to see that on the splash screen. Good job, Trudeau. And then right after that, we got another incredibly long trailer that didn't really show off a whole lot. There's some really bad trailers. This is definitely up there. I just felt like the pacing was off for a lot of them. I fully expect Brandon Jones from Easy Allies to rip a lot of these trailers apart. Campus Sim actually seems really interesting. I don't know if it's because I've been playing a lot of Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic on my phone, and I'm kind of just in the mood for a sim game right now. But I feel like this game might be really fun. Although if I can't charge a student $200 for a textbook they use once over the 4 years after school, it's a 0 out of 10. On the Netflix stuff, like, surprising, but like in a weird way. Stuff flew by so fast I was like, wait, they're making a Splinter Cell show? Are you telling me we're going to get a show before they make another game? Why does Ubisoft hate me? The two Ubisoft series I care about the most are probably Splinter Cell and Rayman. So I've been pretty down bad when it comes to Ubisoft. God, I'll take a new UbiArt game at this point. Just give me something. The Smite announcement was pretty weird. I feel like Stranger Things is nowhere near as popular as it used to be. So having an announcement for 11 and Hopkins, no, that's a town. What's his name? Being playable characters, that feels like 2 years too late, you know? I don't know, I think Smite is just trying to fight Fortnite for getting as many popular IPs as possible. They're losing, but they're trying.
Next up, we announce a lot of games on my shows, but I think this is the first time we are announcing an entirely new game label, new game publisher.
Why announce a publisher? I like don't even know what the market would be for this. Like, I don't know, this should have just been a press release or something. You do not have to come out on stage and tell me, what's her name? Prime Matter exists now. No, I feel like I'm just like missing something about this because it was announced on stage. Then we got another Left 4 Dead style game. I guess Keighley just wanted to continue the tradition he had going at the Game Awards last year when we got like 6 of them announced. I don't know, never really played a lot of Left 4 Dead. And it's kind of just bizarre that now we're getting all of these 4-player cooperative survival shooters. Because like Battle Royale exploded because of PUBG. But I don't think there was a game recently that was a lot like Left 4 Dead to make a bunch of developers be like, oh, we should make another Left 4 Dead right now. I know there was that big update that came out last summer for Left 4 Dead, but I feel like the time between that and the Game Awards last year was not enough for a bunch of studios to be like, oh, well, we should make a game like that. It's going to be interesting to see which one comes out on top, though.
New World, a new open world MMO from Amazon Games.
Why is Amazon going so hard on MMOs? I feel like 2 MMOs is a lot from a publisher. 2 from the same publisher in a single event is insane. I don't know what the Amazon is doing, honestly. I don't know if people are going to get hyped for the Rocket League and Fast 9 crossover. I find it funny that they're like saying it's a crossover with the movies when realistically they're just putting cars that actually exist in the game. Like, I get that those cars are in the movies, but it just feels a little weird, you know? Next we have Blood Hunt and a bit of a lesson on how to make a multiplayer trailer. I don't know if the gameplay for the game has been shown off before, but even if it has, I think the one thing you should not do when showing off a multiplayer trailer for a game that isn't out is not show the game from the player's perspective. What? This trailer felt like a trailer for a new season of like Apex or Warzone. Like, I don't know how this game plays. This did not sell me on the game because they're not showing you what you're going to be doing to kill other people. I don't know. I think this is definitely one of the worst trailers from the event. I remembered very little about this game going into the trailer, and all I know now is that you can customize you guys, and I guess you fight. When the House of Ash trailer started, I thought they were just going to straight up do a war game, which I found way more interesting than what the rest of the trailer showed us. Like, all this supernatural stuff is fine. Like, this game will probably be good. I would want this game to have like a chapter or something that shows like the horrors of war before going into all of the actual horror stuff. I think I'm just seeing a different game that could be made watching this trailer. So why the hell did he show the monster at the end? That was dumb. Especially how it was laid out too. It feels like they ended the trailer with that first person shot of the monster killing that guy, then realized they're showing off the collector's edition, which has a figure of the monster. So then they just quickly put together a shot that showed the monster. That was dumb. That kind of killed the momentum of that trailer for me. Tales of Arise is a game I'm already sold on. This trailer really did nothing to make me more excited for the game, but did nothing to make me less excited for the game. They showed off some more party members and that one guy with the purple hair I feel like I'm going to hate. In the few Tales of games I've played, there's always one character that I just can't stand whatsoever, and I feel like it's going to be that guy. I think Sky might have the record for the shortest trailer in history. It legitimately felt like it was 10 seconds long. I know nothing about this game. I was finishing up my notes on Tales of, and then it was gone. Planet of Lana looks really fun. That's definitely going to be a game I would like to check out. Art style looks gorgeous. And I just have a feeling that this game is going to make people cry. I don't know. They focused so much for like the first little bit of that trailer of that like weird animal thing and the kid. And I feel like that's going to be a key aspect of the game, and that animal thing is going to die. Overwatch 2. Why did you even bother? Cool, you got some new redesigns. That's neat.
Hair shader tech, excuse me.
Why didn't you talk about crossplay? You're talking about crossplay for Overwatch 1 yesterday. This would have been a good time to say, hey, it's also going to happen for Overwatch 2. It's safe to assume that it will. Hell, I might have missed them saying that yesterday. I need that confirmation because that's what's going to sell me on the game or not. But here we go. After a bunch of really bizarre trailers, that D&D game might have given us the worst. I get what they were trying to go for. Oh, this is what it's going to be like if you and your friends are playing the game. Don't do that. It was really bad. I don't know if you guys remember what like Ubisoft used to do from like, I think it was on like 2015, where they would have like fake gamer talk in the trailer. They stopped doing it for a reason. Like, at least like this wasn't entirely scripted. Like, we could at least see people playing the game, or at least it looked like they were playing the game. Oh, it was so bad. But I guess for the D&D game. I might play it. I didn't know Paladins was still alive. That's about all I have to say about them showing up. Just saying, hey, if you have Amazon Prime, you can get Battlefield 4 for free. No catch. Makes me think there's a catch. Why did you say there was no catch, Geoff? Now I'm a little suspicious. I feel like around this point, the whole event really started to pick up. We got a new trailer for Monster Hunter Stories, and I guess confirmation for Amiibo. I'm going to be honest, I already thought that game was out. I haven't played a Monster Hunter game. One of my buddies keeps telling me to. But I just don't care. I think a part of the reason is just because they're oversaturating their own market. It's like, what, didn't Rise come out in like March and we're already getting another game? I don't know. It's just not for me. But it is definitely a sign that this event is starting to pick up a bit. Endless Dungeon does look pretty fun. At least compared to the other 4-player co-op PvE games that were showed off. I feel like I'm most likely to play this one. I don't know. It's just, it's missing something, you know? I need this game to hook me in. It hasn't done that yet. I found the Rift Apart announcement super interesting. Not because they like showed off a lot of really neat stuff for the game, but because they said they're going to stream an hour of the game tomorrow? I don't know, it's just weird on launch day to just show the opening hour of your game. Like, that makes me think either A, that opening hour is insane, or B, at the end of the opening hour, it's going to build up to something that will be insane, and then they're going to cut it there so you want to go buy it. If it goes down 2 hours into that game, and you cut it off like right before it happens, and you're like, oh, if you want to see what happens, you have to go play the game today, that's a really good way to sell your game.
Who would win in a square-off between Gus Fring, Moff Gideon, and Anton?
Hey, Geoff. One of them killed a guy with a box cutter. The other one has a laser gun and the goddamn Darksaber. I think the Star Wars character will win that fight 100% of the time. To be in Fall Guys feels wrong. Dev/at/on games. Seriously, I don't like that logo. Why were you here? Did you just show up to tell us that Sony is giving you a lot of money to make a game, but you have nothing to show for the game? Why? If your brand new game isn't ready, you wait a bit, you know? I didn't recognize the guys, so maybe like they are like big names in the industry and I just didn't remember them. Initially while they were talking, I just got the feeling that we were never going to see this game and it was going to end up being canceled. But because Sony is funding it, it's probably going to come out. I can definitely see it being like a Biomutant situation where it disappears for a very long time once we actually see it. And then it just shows up and it's like, okay. It's like, are you just going to play a song and not show anything from the Sonic game that you teased? No? Okay, moving on. Oh look! Another 4-player PvE survival game. Out of all of them, Back 4 Blood is probably going to be the best. Why is there a PvP though? Who's coming to this game for a PvP? I feel like it makes more sense for a PvP game to add a horde mode. But a game like this adding a PvP mode feels dumb. Like, I'm not coming here for that. I can see Tunic absolutely blowing up in popularity to the extremes of like Cuphead. There's just some indie games you look at and you just get that feeling. It does look really fun and I like its art style. The one thing that is bugging me about the game is that I know I've seen it somewhere else. I just can't remember where. So I messaged my buddy who does my thumbnails, TheCamobot, about it. And I was like, hey, where have I seen Tunic before? And he just replied saying, and I quote, "Bro, I've been waiting for Tunic for 5 years." Was there a date? I don't know. This game is going to be huge. I'm calling it right now. On the other side of the spectrum, I can see Tribes of Midgard just completely passing everyone by. It looks pretty fun, but I don't know. I'm just getting that exact opposite vibe I'm getting from Tunic, where this game is probably just going to come out and then no one's really going to care that much. It'll probably have like a small dedicated following that will really like it. That's alright. I'm not going to get it. Developer on the Evil Dead game has a wicked Iron Man statue. Holy shit. And if I'm going to be honest about this game, my only interest in it is because I really like Evil Dead. It does look kind of fun though. When they first announced it, I just had a feeling it was going to be shit. Going from like melee combat to shooting looked very smooth, and that like weirdly gave me hope for the game. This is definitely going to be one I'm going to have to wait on reviews if I'm going to get it. And then his big last game. I should have assumed it was going to be Elden Ring based on how he was talking about it. And what do I have to say about Keighley's big announcement for this event? I don't like Dark Souls games that much, and I don't really care for Game of Thrones. This game will probably be fantastic and blow a lot of people away. Probably not going to get it. Although if any game will be my first From Software game, it'll probably be this one. Mostly because if it does live up to the hype, I legitimately think one of my friends is going to kick down my door and force me to play it. Like, outside of the game itself, I'm surprised it's a cross-gen title, and even more surprised that it got a date. I was expecting this game to come out in like 2023 and not to hear anything about it until late 2022. They've said so little about the game, you just can't really like pin down how far along it is in development. So that's everything I remembered to write down notes for from the Summer Game Fest kickoff show today. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good show. I feel like most people watching this event are bound to have one or two games from it they'll probably play. Definitely set a good tone going forward through E3 this week too. Like I said earlier, this is my first time trying out a format like this, so if you have any suggestions, please leave them down below. What was your favorite announcement from the event? Do you agree? Think I'm an idiot? Comment down below. Dislike the video if you couldn't stop staring at Link this whole time, and subscribe for more bad content. Follow me on other platforms if you want. Take care, guys.